We had been bumping into the Railroad Earth guys a little bit and totally hit it off. Knew Tim had been producing some records, and Vince and I loved Railroad Earth's new record, Amen Corner. In September, we did a run of shows supporting Railroad Earth, and we firmed up some dates here in December, and bada bing, bada boom. We got the team assembled, and it couldn't have worked out better.
My goal as a producer is just to put down to tape what the artist is doing, what their vision is, and also to help them, find exactly what that is if I can. But mostly it's creating, cool vibe, nice atmosphere, relaxed, handle the problems. Nothing's a big deal, making the session, flow.
The stained soul cringes at the small details in the mirrors of embarrassment. So when you're making a record, you want to make sure that the producer doesn't hold up the details of your mirror of embarrassment, but rather the image of the possibilities that you can strive for. And Tim got us from A to B, in the best way by doing this subtle coaching that producers do to draw the best out of the musicians. And number one, to listen focusedly the whole time you're working during the day, that take, and to keep it mindful about what's happening. And the memory required to do this is amazing. You have 4 or 5 takes, and you have to remember what happened on each one of those takes with 5, 6, 7 different players. It's an incredible mental task to put yourself in the middle of, and Tim navigates it really well.
A Great American Taxi, it's like a perfect marriage because you got a guy like Vince Herman, who is a great front man and energizes an audience, but is also a really enigmatic kind of character, and that comes across on his recordings too. And then you have Chad Staley, who writes these really cool, like Americana like tunes that you like. The first time you hear him, you're singing along with him, And then you get to work with people like Jim Lewin on the guitar, who's just like a monster. He's from Southern California, and he's got that whole Bakersfield, electric guitar thing down, because that's where he's from. And then you got Barry Sless on the pedal steel and the guitar, and basically world-class human being and musician. You add it all together with Edwin and Chris, nailing it down. It's a perfect marriage of great musicians, great songs. It's really amazing.
The producer's role is really to facilitate everything that happens. And it can be everything from making, being a psychologist and making everybody feel good about what they do, to working out the arrangements, to things as mundane as making sure that all the technical details happen and that the mastering happens properly and the scheduling happens properly and all the right people show up at the right time. Musicians are very creative, expressive people, and so everybody's got a million ideas, and it's the producer's job to channel all those ideas into the final product so that there's a coherent vision. Often in bands you can end up with people just saying, oh, well, turn me up, turn me up, turn me up, and the producer sees the overall picture and is able to bring everybody in line, and the best producers do it in such a way that everybody feels good about it through the whole process. And I think that Tim has just been fantastic at that.
I've probably been on about 20 or 30 CDs, and but this is, I think, probably the most fun to date in terms of having music that I really believe in, people, all of whom I totally believe in their talent and I'm inspired by them. Really love all the songs, I really love all the players, and we're all kind of on the same page with what we're going for.
Well, we didn't know exactly what we were going to get with Tim. We knew he was a great fiddle player and multi-instrumentalist, which we knew we were going to want to utilize some of that. We had heard good things about some of the other recent records he had made. And but when he got here, boy, I mean, he took over a lot of the engineering, at least some of the minor details with mic placement and sounds, and he really knew what he wanted and was going for in coordination with what we were doing. And a few phone conversations with him early on, it proved to show that we really were, you know, on the same page and kind of had the universal mind thing flowing here on this project. So it worked out great.
Everybody seems to be clicking on all cylinders right at this moment, you know. So it's exciting, and it's really you know, it's an honor to be involved in, you know, making this record.
Ooh, just when you think you can't get no better